Welcome back, Canonites, for another monthly recap. September was an exciting month, so let's dive right in and explain why. Starting out with, in case you missed it, September was an exciting milestone for Halo Canon, with the channel hitting 200,000 subscribers. So this month, I wanted to start out with an enormous thank you to everyone. Thank you to those that have been here from the start, and thank you to all of those that have been a part of this journey along the way, including you who maybe just subscribed. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everyone, so thank you all. Now, I do have plans to celebrate this milestone in a couple ways, which y'all will see unfold in the next few weeks or months depending on various factors. But thank you again, and keep your eyes glued to this channel. From there, let's talk about this month's videos. September saw 9, starting with a breakdown of the latest Canon fodder at the time, highlighting materials from MCC's 8th season. I have a follow-up plan for the near future that goes into far more detail, so again, stay tuned. Next up was a breakdown of the outcomes report for the first Halo Infinite technical preview. After that was a video covering the complete history of 343 Guilty Spark, followed by a breakdown of the latest Inside Infinite. And just as the second tech preview for Halo Infinite was dropping, we got a look at a ton of concept art for the game, which I did a brief analysis of. Following that was a series of live streams of the aforementioned second flight, and closing out the month appropriately, I'd say, was a new Canon fodder, diving this time into more lore from the maps and weapons of Halo Infinite. It's been a great month for Halo, so if y'all aren't caught up, links to all of these will be either in the description box below or in a pinned comment, depending on how much space is available. That wraps up in case you missed it, bringing us to official news and releases. Y'all loved the new format last month, so we'll be sticking with that going forward. And kicking off the month, we had the first flight for MCC Season 8 on Thursday, September 2nd. Running through September 13th, the flight let players experience the swath of new armors for Halo 3, the new Halo Online map Icebox, a remake of Halo 2's Turf, Flood Firefight, Halo CE and Halo 3 Customs Games browsers, view model offsetting, weapon and vehicle skins for Halo 3 and Halo CE in campaign, and more. Season 8 is looking to be packed with content. Just prior to the season's launch, technically at the end of August, we got a new Canon fodder that dove into the lore surrounding the new armor sets, giving us our first hints at how Halo Infinite Fractures armors might work, and presenting our first glimpses at alternate Halo universes through their lore and descriptions. The article also dove into the development of these armor sets and the philosophies behind them. Once again, I have a more detailed video on this subject planned for this month, so again, stay tuned. After the flight's conclusion, the first full MCC development blog that we'd had in a while dropped, going over the recent flight and plans for MCC's future once Halo Infinite drops. In short, Season 8 will be the last MCC update for this year, barring game-breaking issues of course, and the last formal season of the MCC. Now, this isn't to say that updates for MCC are done with. 343 will continue to support and update MCC post-Infinite, but they'll be moving away from a seasonal model with updates and new content dropping when it's ready. More details on this front will come early next year. From there, the article moves on to tackle a few other topics concerning MCC's future. First up is modding. Currently, Halo 2 and 3 are the next titles slated to receive modding support, with Halo Reach and Halo 4 modding currently in development. At the moment, modding tools will only be available through the Steam version of MCC. Players who own the game through the Windows Store on PC will be able to use mods, but will not have access to modding tools, though that is something the team is looking to bring to the Windows Store version in the future. From there, senior producer Matt Hull gives us an overview of features currently being developed for MCC, with a general idea of where these features are in development. Much of this is stuff we've already hit on, but a couple standout features that are coming include colorblind support, along with expanded subtitles for the game, both of these tested out during the Season 8 flight. 343 are also working on fixing the lighting issues in Halo 4, and fixing a number of issues with Halo 2, such as lighting and cinematic fixes, among others. The MCC update wraps up with a pair of interviews. First with engineering programmer Dana Jerpbach on the improvements and changes made to ODST Firefight, a project hilariously codenamed ODST, and a second with design director Max Zlagor and designer Matthew Jordan, I hope I didn't butcher that first name, on the process of bringing Halo Online maps to MCC. A third interview was also posted in the MCC development thread on the Waypoint forums with associate producer Cameron Anasich and software engineer Sean Scoops Cooper, I again hope I didn't butcher that first name, going over the process for creating and updating modding tools for MCC. All three are fascinating interviews on some of MCC's biggest recent and upcoming features, and I highly recommend reading them all. On the esports side of things, 343 announced the top 25 Halo players of all time, a series focusing on the greatest of Halo's players as selected by former pros and commentators within the community. This month also saw the launch of the official HCS YouTube channel, which you can find linked below. Finally, the month closed with HCS announcing its first Halo Infinite tournament, slated for December 17th through the 19th in Raleigh, North Carolina. Tickets are probably sold out or in low availability by the time this video goes live, but feel free to check at the link below. That, I should say, transitions us nicely into Halo Infinite news. Early in the month, we got an outcomes report on the previous tech preview, going over a lot of the community feedback and announcing what 343 planned to do to address that feedback. Later, we got the next Inside Infinite going over Big Team Battle, the then upcoming Flight 2, more info on the Academy, along with a breakdown of the challenge and battle pass systems. And of course, the highlight of this month, the second technical preview for Halo Infinite. Kicking off on September 23rd, thousands of people jumped in to test Halo Infinite and enjoy some of the updates 343 made. By the time this video releases, we'll all be in the midst of the second part of the flight, finally able to experience the new Big Team Battle. And to make things even more exciting, if you have an Xbox, you can download the Halo Infinite build from the Xbox Insider Hub. If you don't have the Insider Hub, you can download that from the Xbox Store for free, anyone can get it. Point is though, basically everyone is invited this time around. The flight has been pretty good so far, though not without its points of criticism. I plan to talk a bit about that next week, along with diving into some lore and Easter eggs found throughout the flight, so look forward to those. And speaking of lore, if you find yourself needing a little extra taste of it, a new Canon fodder dropped on Wednesday the 29th with some lore surrounding a few new weapons and maps. Moving on to the merchandise side of things, let's talk Halo gear. Early in the month, exclusive Halo-themed gaming equipment from Razer was announced. The headset, mouse, keyboard, and gamepad aren't yet available for purchase, but you can sign up for email notifications once pre-orders go live. In October, Halo will be partnering with Rockstar for a currently unknown deal, though it's probably similar to the Monster Energy drink promotion from last year. On September 24th, Halo partnered with Hyperkin once again to bring us a special 20th anniversary Cortana-themed Duke controller. And on the 28th, Halo announced a partnership with Super Groupies to bring us some high-quality and expensive-looking Halo-themed items. I'm particular to the watch myself. Finally, Halo has also partnered with Nemesis Now for a series of collectibles, and IGN revealed the Art of Halo Infinite Deluxe Edition, which can be pre-ordered through Dark Horse, Amazon, and other book providers. If you want a preview of what to expect from that book, 343 dropped almost 70 pieces of unique concept art over on Halo Waypoint. From there, we start wrapping up the official news and releases. This month's Employee Spotlight focused on Lacey Yamamoto, business administrator and K-pop enthusiast. We also got a second article from the site highlighting Adrian Cho, outsource and vendor manager for 343, and the Summer Apprentices program, a program for introducing young faces to the gaming industry. Both are articles that demand reading. September was also Hispanic Heritage Month, and in celebration, 343 highlighted a number of its Hispanic staff. Senior MP designer Fernando Reyes Medina, producer Zuli Barrientos, senior software engineer lead David Garza, audio QA tester Maria Jose Felix, and software engineer Gerardo Malipartida Vela. I hope I didn't butcher anyone's name too much, and if I did, I'm sorry. Finally though, several Halo titles saw anniversaries this month. Halo 3 turned 14 on the 25th, Halo 3 ODST turned 12 on the 22nd, and Reach turned 11 on the 14th. Happy anniversary to all these games. That wraps up the official stuff, bringing us to the final section for these videos, community highlights. I'd like to start out today by congratulating HiddenXperia on hitting 500,000 subscribers, halfway to 1 million. Here's to you, brother, and to the road to 1 million. You've more than earned it. Second, congratulations to the Sacred Icon podcast for not only uploading 117 episodes, but also hitting 500,000 podcast downloads. Sacred Icon Podcast is a great community with a ton of interesting content, so if you aren't aware of them already, I'd suggest you head over to Twitter and check them out. They even have a channel here on YouTube where they post edited clips and original video content. Next up, we have something really cool, a build of a real Warthog by the channel Hoonigan. This 10-part series is still going on, showing the creation of this real, drivable Warthog that was present at the premiere of Free Guy. It's damn cool, so check it out on YouTube. After that, we have this amazing custom Spartan armor coating by Uriel343. I would love to see an official Dia del Muertos coating like this, and as Yuri suggests, and we've highlighted here before, an Aztec-themed armor. Yuri even went out of their way to make a custom in-game version too, so check out Yuri on Twitter, and 343, please consider making this stuff real. Following that, the channel and creator, HaloVFX, dropped the third episode of their fan production, Operation Charity Falls, following a Spartan fighting the Flood through the remains of High Charity. This has been an amazing series with really high quality animation and production. If you haven't already, check out Operation Charity Falls and consider subscribing, and maybe even supporting HaloVFX directly. Next up, we have a fantastic custom figure from Emilio Martinez, the Arbiter in all his wooden glory. It's a great piece, and I definitely encourage y'all to check out the creator on Twitter. After that, we have a really cool production from Podcast Evolved, a fan-made audio drama titled Halo Survival. The series will follow Rhino Squad on what was meant to be a standard mission. However, when Oni is involved, nothing is standard. The narration, voice acting, and sounds are all great, so I highly recommend you check it out on Podcast Evolved's channel. Next up, we have a fan trailer from D27 Shigu celebrating 20 years of Halo. Be sure to check it out on YouTube. Following that is a fairly creative and hilarious Master Chief pinup by artist Dememty over on DeviantArt. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Be sure to check it out. Next up, we have an adorable Halo crossover with HazbinHotel, main character Charlie holding a little grunt. Check out the artist La Charlie Main on Twitter. Brilliant username, by the way. After that, we have an amazing piece by UNSC Mexico depicting a pair of Spartans in some of the Season 8 armor sets engaged in battle. A Knight of Venezia fighting a Chosen of Lacedaemon. Check out the creator on Twitter. Next up, we have this piece by Mu Art, the chief preparing to finish the fight on Halo. Check out Mu Art on Twitter. Next, we have a piece from MrGruntington, a squad of ODSTs fighting off Flood combat forms during the Battle of Void. Check out Gruntington on Twitter. After that, we have something truly special, a massive project from Haruspis known as Previously on Halo. This website documents the Halo story so far, from the time of the precursors to the doorstep of Halo Infinite. You can read articles on specific events, summaries of the various Halo media, character profiles, and more. And this is just the beginning. If you want to get caught up on Halo lore at your leisure, Previously on Halo is one of the best resources out there to do so. This thing even got retweeted by the official Halo account. So please, go check it out. Next up, we have a cool take on a Swords of Sanghelios ambassador from Jacob P117. I always love me a flowing cape over some armor. Check it out on Twitter. Following that, we have an updated Halo CE Marine by Abby SV. It looks damn good, so be sure to check it out on Twitter. After that, we have a piece titled One Final Effort from Christopher J. Dorsch, depicting a Spartan 4 in full Mark 7 ready for combat. Check it out on Reddit. Next up, we have a hilarious piece from Blind Valkyrie, the Noodler. Not much else to say, so check it out on Reddit. After that, we have a general shout out for artist Craig Mullins, another of Halo's legendary concept artists, who recently popped up on Twitter with some of his most famous Halo pieces. Check out his account and give it a follow if you're so inclined. Next up is a piece from Exotic Valkyrie, War Party. What I really love about this piece is the custom art on the side of the pelican, harkening back to an old tradition. Check out the piece in full on Twitter to find out what it says. Next up is a wonderful minimalist poster for Halo 3 ODST by Tubbies of Plum. I just love minimalist art like this, so check it out and the artist on Twitter. After that, we have an amazing redesign of the Hunters by artist Ruben. I really love this take on them, bringing back some of the more Gundam-style designs of early concept art and making them just a little more alien. Check out Ruben on Twitter. Following that is a really cool original character named Vert Haunt by the Crab Queen. Reading the backstory provided, I could totally see a character like this existing in the Halo universe. Check out the Crab Queen on Twitter. Our next shoutout goes to Ebony Warrior Studios, better known in the Halo community for their cosplay. Today, however, we're highlighting this amazing impression of the Arbiter. You'll have to follow the link to Twitter to hear it yourself, but trust me, it's amazing. After that, we have a shoutout for the Halo modding channel VKMT. At the start of the month, they dropped a huge mod showcase on their channel, so be sure to check that out and consider subscribing to it. There's a lot of awesome content being highlighted. Our penultimate shoutout today goes to Paladin Amber with this Master Chief cosplay. I definitely encourage you to check it out on Twitter, particularly for the small exchange between Amber and the official Xbox account. But don't forget to check out the cosplay too. September actually didn't see a community spotlight, so instead we're wrapping up today with this piece from Marcus Lato, the father of the Master Chief. Here we have a fresh take on those first steps onto Alpha Halo almost 20 years ago. Watching Marcus rebuild all these assets from scratch has been an absolute blast over the last several months, and this final piece is gorgeous. If you haven't, check it out over on Twitter. With that, we bring this month to a close, though we aren't completely done just yet. Behind the scenes, I've been working on a little something with my patrons, a request that people have been making for years now. That's right, I finally set up a Discord server. The link is available at the top of the description box below, so if you're interested, drop on in and join the fun. And speaking of the description box, all the stories and creators featured here today are down there with links to everything. Check out the stories that interest you, support the creators and creations you liked, and as always, if there's anything you want to see shouted out in a future video, let me know in the comments below. Or if you join the new Discord, post it in the Halo Monthly Recap channel. As for this edition of the Monthly Recap, that is a wrap. Thank you for watching, stick around for the Patreon shoutout, and I hope to see you on Discord. First off, I'd like to give a big thank you to our Haruspis patrons. First, there's Hope, then we have Freight, Discombobulated Sycophant, Justin Montgomery, Ada Frame, Man in the Dark, Keisha Dila, Daddy Anarchy, and finally Great Scott Productions. Thank you all for your amazing support of the channel. Next, I'd like to thank our theoretical patrons. If you'd like to see your name here or get a direct shout out, check out patreon.com/HaloCanon. You can simply support the channel or get additional benefits such as behind the scenes materials, including raw audio for upcoming videos, or even shoutouts like this. All patrons now get early access to certain videos as well, and more benefits are to come. However, your continued viewership is more than enough for me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and maybe even subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. If you really enjoy this, turn on that notification bell so you can be among the first to see new videos when they release. But for all my fellow Canonites, keep on being awesome.